watchers, it's your girl Big Ish. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching Black People Watch. And this week we're going over 5 frightening horror movies that you can watch with your kids. Now, these are not for little kids. These are for like your tweens and your preteens and your teenagers. These are really scary movies, you guys, but they do not have any sex in them and very minimal language, okay? I'm very, cognizant of having small children, and my girls are 10 and 12, and I do have a 17-year-old, but he doesn't hang out with us anymore. He watches his own movies on his own time. And so I have to be aware of language, and I also have to be aware of sex scenes. So these are movies that are going to be good for you to watch with your kids. They're not Casper the Friendly Ghost type movies. They're not corny and cheesy. They are legit scary movies that you can watch with your kids, that you're not exposing them to a whole lot of different things that they're not ready for yet, and that you don't want to experience with them. I don't too much care for, watching those kind of movies with my kids. So number one, let's get into it. Number one is The Boy. That was really good. It was on Netflix for a while. I think they took it off. It did so well on Netflix that they actually made a Boy 2. And I'm not sure how well that did in the movie theaters because they didn't release it on Netflix as they did the first one. They tried their hand with the movies in that one, so I'm not sure how well it did. But The Boy was released in 2016, and it was really good. It was really scary, and it gave my girls a really good fright. There are some typical jumper type parts in it. They're really good. They executed the jumpers really well. You're going to be scared. Your kids are going to love it, and you're going to love it. I'm sorry, I don't know where you can find it right now. I do know that Amazon Prime has it. I'm looking at my computer, my laptop right now. Amazon Prime does have it to rent for $3.99. And so you can go ahead and rent it, try and see if it's on Netflix, but I don't think it's there anymore. But originally, they were the one that released the movie. The Boy is about a doll who the owners of the doll treats him like a human being because they lost their son like 20 years ago. It's really creepy, it's really scary, and you and your kids are gonna love it. This one is definitely rated like PG. If anything, it's just the scary part of it, the psychological part of it, but there are no curse words or definitely no s.e.x scenes on it, and I have to be careful about what I say because you can get flagged by YouTube for saying certain things. So I'll just spell that out. There's none of that in there. So you can feel comfortable about watching this movie with your kids and get a nice, good fright. Number 2, Winchester House. This is a good movie, partly because some of it is true. Okay, so let me just get into it. The Winchester estate comes from the guns, the old musket guns from back in the 1800s, and they're still around till today. They're called Winchester rifles. That is a family, okay? And the heiress of this family, she was a little off. She was a little cuckoo, and she was a widow. She ended up becoming, mentally ill, and she built this house. This house has like 118 rooms. It's ridiculous. It might even be more than that. But it's in San Diego it's in California somewhere. I was going to actually go visit it when I was going out that way before the pandemic hit. And me and my daughters were planning on taking a trip, and we were going to visit the house that was on the list because we were in that area. It's in San Jose, California. The house really exists. And she just kept adding rooms because she was hearing voices, and the voices would tell her, add more rooms to the house, build another room, build a little wall here, build a cubby here, and this. And she would do it. She would hear these voices, and she claimed that the house was haunted and it had spirits in it. And she would build and build and build, and it had no design. It really had no rhyme or reason. And she felt that the house was haunted by the people who died from the Winchester guns. So she's thinking that those guns killed so many people, and her family made those guns, that they're being haunted by the victims of their guns. Very spooky, very scary, very, very good. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Trust me. Winchester is also for rent on Amazon Prime for $3.99. Again, I'm not paid by Amazon Prime. I just love Amazon Prime and I watch it a lot. And I have paid for some rentals on Amazon Prime. So, and you can buy movies on there too. So you can always watch them and like keep them and store them and always watch them as long as you have Amazon Prime. I didn't know that. So that's interesting. That's an idea. It's my cat. Number 3, Pet Sematary. This is an old movie from the first original Pet Sematary is from 1989. It's a Stephen King movie, of course. It comes from the book Pet Sematary. And you remember back in 1989 how this movie just made everybody crazy, and we all thought that our cats and dogs were going to be reincarnated and come back to kill us. And it's so much fun. They also did a remake of Pet Sematary that me and my daughter watched on Amazon Prime, and it was free. This one is free. It was made in 2019, and it was really scary. They enjoyed it. She really thought it was, it's just, it's a little bit of cursing in this movie. I think it's an F-bomb. The little girl who, I don't want to give away the story, but her parent buried her in the pet cemetery. She came back and she got a little mouth on her, a little potty mouth on her. But I mean, my kids have heard the F word before. I don't know about yours, but mine have. And so one or two, words here or there is not like a cardinal sin to me. So we still watched it. They enjoyed it. You can rent the original Pet Sematary on Amazon for $2.99, but the 2019 version is free. So that's something you can cuddle up tonight with your kids or your spouse or yourself and sit back, eat a pizza on Friday, have some wings, and watch a good movie and get scared to death. I loved it. Number 4, Candyman. We all know how Candyman made us feel. I mean, we were scared out of our minds and it felt so real. The original Candyman was released in 1992. Such a scary backtail to it. It's so good. I also think I rented this on Amazon Prime as well. It wasn't that much, but there is a Candyman 1 and there's a Candyman 2. And when I tell you that my kids were scared out of their mind, they couldn't sleep. After it went off, we sat and talked about it, and they actually watched the old 1992 version and loved it. They loved it. It really stands the test of time. You can turn it on tonight and watch it with your family, and they won't even mind that, the visuals are a little off, because of time, and, but it's still a 100% great movie. We also know that Jordan Peele is coming out with a version very soon of Candyman, and we can't wait for that. I'm sure he's marketing it, and just like Coming to America 2, he's probably going to see if he can sell it to the highest bidder. I'm sure that he has a lot of people that want to buy it from him. I'm sure Amazon is trying to get it, and I'm sure that Netflix and Quibi and everybody else wants this movie because it's a lot going into it, and I stalk his page all the time, almost every day, and I just can't wait for him to announce who he sold it to. So yeah, if you're looking for something to watch tonight, this weekend, or around as we get closer to Halloween, Candyman is definitely a throwback that you can watch with your kids that's going to scare them to death. And scare you, because I forgot a lot of the stuff, so I was scared all over again. And number 5, can you guess what number 5 is? It's my favorite, actually. It's not my kid's favorite, it's mine. Go into the light, Carolyn. Go into the light. The light is your friend. Mommy. And then when you hear that, la, 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 I mean, it gives me chills. Number 5 is Poltergeist. 1982, they released Poltergeist. This movie, the young girl Carol Ann realizes that there are ghosts in the house, and at first they appear friendly and it's all fun, and she's doing tricks with the ghost and she's showing her mom. Next thing you know, the ghosts are mad and angry, and they end up kidnapping Carol Ann and taking her off into another dimension or something. There are a series of Poltergeists. I think it's 1, 2, and I think even 3. Another thing that's scary about Poltergeist is that it's based on a true story of a family out in Denver who found out that their home was built on an Indian gravesite, Native American gravesite rather, and they felt that they were being haunted by ghosts. This movie was also directed by Steven Spielberg, so it does have his quality on it. It's a very good quality movie even till today. Of course, some of the special effects aren't as great as, you know, they are today, so they do look a little outdated, but other than that, it's still a top-notch movie. It's still scary as I don't know what. It scared my kids to death, and we love it. And I rented it on Amazon, watched it with my kids, $3.99. I mean, you can't beat it. You get it for like 2 days or 3 days or something like that when you rent it. I mean, remember when we used to go to Blockbuster and you would rent a tape and, you know, they would be like $4 or $5. You know, sometimes you could get 2 for $10 or something like that. But, you know, it's worth it to me to, you know, hang out and plug in a number and go ahead and watch a movie with my kids on the Friday or Saturday night. It's a lot of fun. It takes the pressure off. And I hope you guys are getting geared up to have a great holiday and Halloween. And, you know, I don't celebrate any of that, but I do think it's fun to sit around and watch scary movies. And this is the time to do it. I want you to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I think I'm going to have another 5 because I know there's 5 more that are in there. Also, in Poltergeist, there is some spicy language here and there, but it's not too bad. I hope you have a great and glorious weekend, and thanks again for watching. Bye!